Good morning, my neighbours!
Ladies and gents, it's Saturday, and it's time for an alternative paper review. First up to The Sun this morning, who lead with a front-page splash about football stuff. Now recently, I don't know if you've noticed it, but The Sun have actually taken a bold take on how they package their news, right? Because traditionally you'd see the sports on the back pages. But now, what The Sun are doing is, if you look at the front page, that's where you see their sports updates, right? But then if you flick to the back page and you fold it up and you throw it in the bin, then you could just go on with your day. Over to the Times now. Badenoch says voters must see through Farage's act. Which is a weird, almost ingenious headline, isn't it? Because you could look at that and interpret it two ways. Like it's all just an act and you have to see through it, okay? He's a fraud. You've got to come back to the Conservative Party faithful. Please, let's all move on from Farage. That is one way you could interpret that headline. The other way you could interpret it is like Nigel Farage has written an act, like a bill, an aspiring act, and now we have to see it through Parliament. Like Badenoch's on the news rounds, like, yeah, look, the burning refugees in public in your local town square act, we've given it some thought and we think you've just got to see it through. I mean, the problem that Badenoch has with stuff like this is the same problem that all of the high-risk, low-rent, front-bench Tories have. It's the same problem that Rishi Sunak has on the front page of The Express today. This is his response to that Reform candidate or campaigner guy who called him an effing P-word. He's like, my hurt and anger at daughters hearing a racist slur. Like, it's fine to be angry at racism. Obviously, it's fine to have lost your patience with the fraud that is Nigel Farage and the Reform Party. But the challenge that they have is that the things they're losing patience with regards to Farage and the wider Reform Party, are things that they, the Tories, are themselves also guilty of. I mean, Kemi Badenoch is every bit as bad as Nigel Farage when it comes to dismissing criticism, waving a flag in front of your face and trying to distract you with culture war nonsense. You know, like, oi Kemi, what are you doing to increase business investment in a post-Brexit Britain? And she's like, trans bathrooms this and down with rainbow flags. Meanwhile, concurrently, Rishi Sunak appears to be courting sympathy from Express readers who CCHQ have been doing everything to galvanise and radicalise for the last 7 years into hating immigrants and demonising refugees, bringing the political temperature up to boiling point to the extent that state-sanctioned racism only just stops short at state-funded harpoon guns. No, I'm sorry. We're a welcoming nation, but back in the water you go. Like, call me a boring old fuddy-duddy expert subscriber to cause and effect if you must, but I don't think you can stoke the fire of xenophobia and immigrant hate and racism for the best part of a decade and then be surprised when at this election you get called a racist term. It's like, you've been encouraging this for years. Like, where have you been? It's like getting 5 pit bulls drunk, right? And then just throwing them all into the dogfighting ring. And then you're like, whoa, all right, that got ugly quick, didn't it? Finally, to the Daily Mail. Boris says Britain can still swerve Starmageddon. Yes, just in case you didn't quite catch that correctly, this is the former, shamed, ejected Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Still can't set foot in Parliament, still banned from Parliament. But here he is on the front page of the Daily Mail, warning of what a catastrophic Prime Minister Keir Starmer might be. He suggests Labour will try to lock the Tories out of power. Boris Johnson took control of the Electoral Commission. He suggests Keir Starmer will hike your taxes. Boris Johnson hiked your taxes. He questions whether Labour are being honest with voters. Boris Johnson is questioning if somebody else is being honest. And of course, all of this is decorated with the Daily Mail's widely debunked supermajority rhetoric. Well, this is what gets me about the Daily Mail and the Sun and the Telegraph is so disingenuous. It's like, how many people are going to pick up a copy of this today in Sainsbury's or Tesco, like maybe your mum, your gran, your granddad? How many are going to take that at face value? A super majority. Oh, it sounds like Keir Starmer's going to be some sort of dictator. Oh, my goodness. Well, we don't want that. We want to preserve democracy in the UK. I'd better vote Conservative. We can still avoid Starmageddon, says that lovely, lovely buffoon Boris Johnson. We can't have a supermajority. And all of it is demonstrably false. It's just abject nonsense. It's what it, and then in the same breath, CCHQ, Kemi Badenoch will have the gall to go on the front page of the Times. Like, voters are going to have to see through this other party's superficial, disingenuous act. I need my morning brandy.
Hey yo, it's the alternative paper review. Coming in for you every day is the truth. Roasting the Tories, bring you the stories. A. Thompson talking blue in the room. Dude in the shed, big ears with a brew. Drunk off his head, it appears had a few. Age 42, saying what's new.